Reunion was amazing. If you are just watching, you're just tuning in. I am Crystal Jordan. This is our exclusive recap reality checks of Ready to Love. And I had to bring my guy back in for today. I love having a male to go back and forth with. So I had to bring back Terry Deron. You guys welcome Terry. Well, first of all, Terry, welcome. Happy
What's
Friday.
going on? Happy Friday. Been looking forward to it.
Man, what a reunion. I don't know, have you seen reunions from the other seasons?
No, I have not.
Okay, all right.
This is the first season I watched start to finish. The
Okay.
other one I just caught clips and episodes here and there.
Okay, so y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if y'all thought this reunion was more surprising than reunions in the past. All right. Okay, hold on. Y'all, we got people already here in the chat, people leaving, saying this is y'all gotta watch the show live. These people are more okay. All right, let's get into tonight's show. First of all, the big upset. I'm gonna start with the upset because I have been saying the entire season. I did not trust Vernicia and Joelle. I have been saying that. Y'all have heard me say it the entire season. I was just like, something is too smooth. Something don't feel right. It feels like he is saying the things to stay in the situation, and he picked the female that he was probably most attracted to, but I just wasn't believing he was serious about being with Vernicia. You and I went back and forth about this. I text you. I told you so. What happened? What happened with Vernicia? What, in your opinion, happened with Vernicia and Joelle?
Man, it seems like a lot. What I talk about on my page a lot. From the way that the show ended with it saying like you have to agree to be committed and all this type of stuff. I think I think that's what messed things up because it's not officially boyfriend and girlfriend, but it's setting the expectation that y'all committed or we on committed avenue headed towards commitment. And that wasn't necessary.
The show is called Ready to Love. And
I understand
you
it.
come to the show with the understanding that this is for a serious grown relationship, right? Like a grown relationship, not
like by the end of the season. Like
that's the show, though. That's the show. It's called Ready to Love.
But technically, you could love a person before you commit to them. So saying that ready for love and ready for commitment ain't the same thing. If the show was called Ready for Commitment, then I can understand that pressure being at the end. But putting people in a position to build a connection and fall for somebody, I think that happened. Like it's the putting a commitment on the end of the show that I think put too much pressure on it because her expectation was all right. Now we full all in. I'm spending the night. I'm bringing my stuff over here. Like whoa, we ain't there yet, and that's what it sounds like caused the conflict. And she showed that she's one of those type of women where I ain't got nothing else to say when she gets upset when there's a disagreement. She kind of shuts down and don't really want to talk. That's hard to communicate with. You know what I mean? Like old boy that pulled her in the hallway was trying to talk some sense into her, and look, you see how she wasn't even really engaging with him.
He first of all, okay, let's talk about that. Dietrich actually went on a date with her and said that he was intimidated by her, right? So that's the first thing he said tonight was that, Joelle, he probably scared. Joelle is not afraid. Ain't nothing afraid about Joelle. And again, every show from The Bachelorette to Flavor Flav's show, you're supposed to end the show in a relationship. This is not a surprise. Joelle knew that. Everybody on the show knew that. Joelle, Kyra, everybody tried to act like they ain't understand that. They knew at the end of this show, you are supposed to pick someone and you guys are supposed to be in a relationship working towards marriage. That's the whole concept. So I'm not really gonna agree on that. Also, I think let's look at this. Let's go back through the season. Joelle always had little things to say. First of all, he picked Kyra as his top that time. Okay.
That was the spark that got him off
That
track
was
to
a red
begin with.
flag to let us know. And Kyra was the other most attractive person on the show that a lot of the guys were, because all the guys that came on my show that talked afterwards, they all talked about how fine Vernicia was, right? So Vernicia was fine. Then he went to Kyra. I feel like Joelle was trying to pick the woman that was going to be the best arm candy for him and stay on the show. But he mentioned that Kyra was the top, right? All the girls said that he constantly reached out to everybody. So that let us know that he's with that game. So even though he was just trying to
Like
make
he was trying to get with all of them, or
he
he was
was
just
trying to make sure the door was cracked everywhere he turned.
That's smart.
It's also not genuine. There was a statement that he said on the ranch, and I was like, did anybody catch that? Because Tommy was like, are you sure that these are your connections? And Joelle was like, unless you're gonna bring 10 more fine women out. Okay.
I did not catch that. I did not catch
that. I caught it. He was open the entire time. I think he was most attracted and had the most in common with Vernicia, but he doesn't seem like somebody that's ready to settle down, period. Because even his
I didn't get that vibe. I was on the same page with Tommy. Like I said last time we spoke, from what I saw on the show and the situation that was presented, I felt like Joel was the best husband candidate. I mean, if she's not going to be willing to talk at all, then obviously it's not going to go nowhere.
But she was willing to talk.
She said, I ain't got nothing to say to him. Like,
because all during this time he had been on that BS. And I think it's funny because I went on her page today, because she's going to be on the show next week. I went on her page today and she was playing The Best Thing I Never Had. Also, did you guys catch in the dressing room when she was like, all these dudes full of it? Like, obviously, Vernicia was done with Joelle's BS. Every time he wanted to say something, he was like, she's too controlling, but he couldn't give examples.
He gave examples.
What was his example?
He gave 3 specific examples on the show where he talked about the spending the night.
He was okay with her spending the night. He was okay with them being intimate. He just didn't want her spending the night.
Right.
Okay.
And so he was talking about she made a comment about, I'm gonna slap somebody if they talking to you. Like, she did a bunch of stuff that was red flags that would give any man with sense pause. Like, if you're supposed to be getting in a commitment, that's the type of attitude you don't want. So was she suppressing that for the cameras? Was she putting on, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really this toxic, violent type of chick, then it makes sense.
Well,
you know what I mean? Because just because a woman calls it BS, don't mean a man was really BSing her. Like, just because a man doesn't move how she says he wanted to move, or whatever the case may be, because even in the final show, it seemed like he was receptive to dating her. Like, when he explained his side of the thing, I didn't hear nothing that seemed like he was disrespecting her or he was dissing her. He explained what he said in the context that he said it, and that is a sign that a dude is genuine. So at first I was upset. Like, when I showed a clip last week and I text you, like, oh man, my boy. But then when I heard, even though he didn't get to say much without being interrupted, he got to explain his perspective on it, and I didn't see him do anything that I would call foul or malicious.
Well, so all of a sudden he's hanging out with Stacey and Chrysanthemum.
Then you just said he was reaching out and talking to everybody.
Yeah.
So if you've been building connections and hanging out with people, shooting pool, doing top golfing and all that, I don't see why that would stop.
Well, no, it's not going to stop, especially when you're not ready for a relationship. That's behavior of a man that's not really ready for a relationship. You're on a dating show. These are other women that were potentials. So if you're hanging out with those other women, you probably ain't trying to hang out with me. You're not really trying to be in a relationship with me. You see what I'm saying? Like, I understand you build relationships, but those other women are potential candidates for a relationship. So if you're hanging out with them, then
See, it's not like you keep saying it like that show. The expectation is end of the last episode we committed to each other,
it
and
is.
I don't. That was not clearly stated. I thought the point was to find somebody that you have a deep connection with, that you got a very good chance that
That
things
you're
could lead to
ready
marriage.
to love.
Not ready for commitment. It doesn't mean the same thing.
Okay.
Love is because okay. So when a man loves a woman, what does that look like? It means that he's gonna put up with stuff that he wouldn't put up with from nobody else. He's gonna be willing to use his resources at her disposal. He's gonna put her well-being and thought process in mind. You can't tell me Joelle does not meet all those criteria.
I don't think we saw enough to know if he did or not. What I think Joelle was doing was enough to stay on the show. I feel like he was doing enough to keep himself wedged in there. He stayed to the very end, but I don't think he was serious about a relationship. And I think that's the point that you and I are disagreeing on. I think this show is for people that are ready to find someone potentially that they can love and be in a serious committed relationship.
So, but what are you supposed to do if you see some red flags at the end of episode 10
When
or
you would be
episode
out
9?
before the very end, because he came to the with the flowers and the shorts on, ready to give her flowers and say they want to be in a committed relationship. If he saw all these red flags, he should not have done that. He did that, and then as soon as the cameras were off, he bailed. So to me, that says you want to stay on TV.
I guess yeah,
So,
I can.
okay, let's go to Let's talk about Alexis and Kyra and AJ, because we had Kyra on last Friday. So we listened to Kyra explain her side of the story. This is my thing, and you guys please chime in. I want to get some comments from the viewers today. I feel like Alexis, we haven't called Alexis out on the fact that Alexis was wrong for reaching out to AJ. She did mention to us on the show when she came that she did go back. But when she said that she reached out to him, and Terry, I'm telling you, this is a trick that females do. I'm admitting it. We do this.
My birthday's
out and she says, did you mean any of that stuff that you said? Girl, that is a woman's way of trying to start conversation. And she knew that AJ picked Kyra. So why are you reaching out? It don't even matter if he meant anything. He didn't pick you. He picked
But it was after the show. She didn't pick nobody. Well, so
no.
She curved him though.
AJ picked Kyra over Alexis.
I know, but Kyra curved him.
But that ain't Alexis' concern. After he somebody else,
just because he was forced to make a choice, he chose Kyra. If the feelings are not reciprocated, that don't mean that he's no longer available to no other woman. That's Kyra's bad.
So he could just double back. No. And you see what happened? She reached out to him, even though he picked the other woman. I'm saying this, you will never, ever, a guy that doesn't pick you first, if it's between you and another woman, he don't pick you. When you go back and try to change his mind, that's never going to be the place that you're going to be appreciated at. Not never. So she went and she was like, did you ever mean anything? She just wanted to start that back up. I like Alexis, but I got to call BS. And then she said tonight, that she did not know that that Kyra and AJ were moving in a serious relationship. Girl, again, the name of the show is Ready to Love. When he didn't pick you.
But she didn't pick him. So when Kyra didn't pick him, that means she don't want him.
But Alexis, that was not Alexis.
So that means he's not obligated to nothing. If she curves him, he's free for whoever's interested in him. And she can feel however she feel about it. I don't feel like that's breaking no girl code or nothing. She didn't want him. If she wanted him, they would have been together.
it's not even mad. I'm not even saying that Kyra had a right to be mad at Alexis. She didn't, because she didn't want him.
Right.
Alexis need to be mad at herself. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, well, she at least she was trying to see if there was she felt she was interested, and she shot her shot to see if there was the interest was mutual.
He
That's
already
what you
said
gotta do.
no. He already
Well,
said no.
he had already expressed.
Then you see what happened afterwards? He was like, Tommy said, well, are
Yeah.
you interested in these women? He said, it ain't Alexis. I was like, damn. See, the only reason he was able to curve her like that was because she put herself back out there after he already made it clear he wanted the other woman. Just because the other woman don't want him doesn't mean that you go back and try to beg him back. That's just
if a dude is torn between two chicks, it's usually a very small margin between the women. You know what I mean? Like so if there was a connection between him and Alexis, you know what I mean? Like so even though he was forced to choose, that's what made it, emotional because it's a tough decision, you know? And didn't he change his mind? You know what I'm saying? Like
he picked Alexis first, then he changed his mind.
yeah, so it's not like I'm not uninterested, and then he just pretended to be interested. He was interested. Alexis is very attractive,
Okay,
and so
Terry, I'm gonna ask you this: if you were on the show and you were in Alexis' spot, and a girl chose the other guy, not you, are you gonna keep reaching out to her to try to change her mind?
no. But I'm the ex-hoe, and my perspective on dating and women is gonna reflect that. I'm never doing that because that's what guys that women don't really want do. You know,
that's the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing.
But women in general don't have to pursue men. Like, so it's not like y'all just alter y'all's approach to men. Y'all don't approach men in general. Like the percentage of women that shoot they shot at men is extremely small. So men are the one that have to make the moves and adjustments. And a woman that if I'm in a setting where it's me or another dude, um, I don't necessarily hold it against her. You know what I'm saying? I still hit, I still kick it with her or whatever if I saw her somewhere else. But I'm not finna try to outdo him. You know what I mean? Like I'm not ever gonna compete like that.
Right. But like, okay, so do you think AJ was wrong? Do you guys think AJ was wrong for going out with Alexis?
I mean, it do seem kind of. It seems like he did it out of spite.
Yes.
But when a woman curves you, what does that mean? That means that she does not want to go further with you. So you still single. So is he supposed to just ignore all the women that interested him? Like is he supposed to just be on timeout until Kyra get off vacation and be like, all right, now you can date again? Like who the hell do you think you are? And for dudes that are successful with women, they take offense to stuff like that. Like, man, you got me effed up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
and he mentioned it. Like, I'm supposed to just be here waiting and hoping for you to come back. Like, stop it.
But my thing is this: I respect that because I'm gonna tell you that if I picked a guy and he did not pick me at the end, he was like, Crystal, I'm not sure. I'm definitely going out with somebody else. Absolutely. However, he was still waiting on her. He was waiting, but he should have been honest about what he was doing because she was like, I don't know. He said he still wants to work on it. They're talking every day. And then he went out with the very woman that they were going back and forth about. So to me, that was a little shady because he knew. Now, Alexis again was.
Now, hold on. Let's just keep it a book. Just because Kyra did not choose, you know what I'm saying, AJ, don't mean there wasn't nobody in H-Town blowing her back out or that she was on vacation with. Like so let's not act like she was just being pure. She was just waiting and FaceTiming them and got played. She was curving them for a reason. Like she was playing that I'm in the middle game for a reason. And a woman that's very attractive and a lawyer in Houston is not doing those things alone usually. So
I didn't think did she go out of town with somebody. 2 weeks is a long time to be out of town.
I mean, right. That's like, so it might not be nobody that you kicking it with, but that sounds like Pound Town took place while she was out of town.
Damn, I
I'm
think
just saying, who goes on vacation for 2 weeks and don't do nothing?
I mean, not okay. Do nothing. That's like a weird. That's a. There are people that go on a vacation that may not have sex, but you probably are flirting or having some interaction with the opposite sex. Grown people do, you know.
Absolutely.
I want to add. So I had Jason and Liz on yesterday. If you guys haven't seen that interview, please go out. Please go back and watch it. They were absolutely like googly eyed over each other. But what do you think about their relationship? I told them I did not see them together at all, and in the beginning,
Me neither.
I feel like Jason picked Liz, which may be the best choice for him, but I feel like he picked Liz because he realized Kyra possibly was not going to pick him. But I think his heart was really with Kyra the entire up until the ranch. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if Kyra had responded different, he would have definitely chose her.
Yeah.
But it's cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter if you what choice you are on a person. It just matter if y'all compatible or not. And it definitely appears that him and Liz are compatible. Based off because they made it clear, a couple episodes in, and all their interactions been genuine. They friends, they families, etc. And her situation as far as the celibacy goes. Hopefully, they can play around in the gray area, and things can work and prosper. But it looked like a good connection. Like I like how it developed,
Let
because
me ask,
Liz,
let me ask you.
even though because they was trying to throw shade and salt, what I'm saying, at Liz throughout the show, she handled it like a G.
She did. He said that he liked that about her. I definitely think that Kyra was wrong. Let me ask you this. Several times in the show, Kyra knows she's very attractive. She has some type of spell over everybody. I say my fiance was like, Kyra, everybody and she knows that. And she said she put on a bathing suit, or she put on a bikini to get his attention, to pull it away from Liz. And then when he picked Liz, Kyra was like very disrespectful. Like she couldn't even believe it. Like, how dare you pick Liz over me? How dare anybody play? So what do you think about that? To me, that showed that she's a little bit
ego,
very
pretty girl syndrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed like she wanted to be chased. She wanted to be able to do the curving, from a male perspective, you got to be able to peak game. Like that's AJ's bad. Like it's not about getting the cute chick to, what I'm saying, like entertaining the cute chick. You want to choose a chick that like you the most, or that is the most interested in you. And Alexis was the most interested in him, obviously.
Right.
Like she was very upfront. She made it very clear she wasn't playing no games. So he just was fascinated with Kyra. So to me, that was just bad decision making on his part.
Liz said that she did not understand. Kyra made a statement about Jason wanting to pick who was safe. And Liz said she was real disrespectful to Liz. But I want you guys to know, in that interview, Liz said that Kyra did reach out to her and apologize, which I thought was really, I really appreciated that on her behalf. She obviously got caught up in, being real competitive, but she did say that Kyra, apologized to her because she was just super disrespectful.
She was coming
disrespectful to Liz, and the idea like every time that they would mention a date, she acted like, how could Jason even be serious about her? But Liz said, why would a guy pick a risk over what's safe? She was fine with being a safe choice. What do you think about that?
That's smart. That's essentially what husband material do. Husband material men make themselves a safe bet.
Oh, wow.
What woman don't want the handsome 6-figure dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you might end up with an NFL dude or a rapper or whatever, but you way better off with the 6-figure career family dude. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, if you can get the safe bet, you can be perfectly cool and ride foreign and do Sunday fun day with a dude that ain't a millionaire or a celebrity. So
do men think like that though?
Yeah, I think smart men that approach dating in the right way, they're looking for a woman that is going to be conducive to a healthy, relaxed environment where they don't have no unnecessary drama, no unnecessary like Vernicia type of like drama over nothing. You having to explain and reverbalize a conversation that didn't even have nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of stuff that makes a relationship toxic. So men are looking for situations that let them know whether you're gonna be the type of woman that they can be cool with and they can be themselves with, they can talk freely to, or do they gotta censor their conversation and walk on eggshells?
Mm. What do you think about Liz and Jason though? Do you think that I've been saying the whole show, I felt like Liz was a little bit more mature than Jason. Like, definitely I don't think that safe is bad. But I think
No.
that I think when people go against their heart, they usually regret it or they end up, you know, doubling back. But I think that Liz seems to be in a very much more advanced place in her life than Jason. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I interviewed them last night, I really started to change my perspective because they seem googly eyed. But I think she was single for 17 years. Did you know that?
Ooh.
You didn't know that. Bam. She was single for
That's
17
that's
years.
that's how long I've been married.
She was single for 17 years. She has strong religious beliefs, which I think is really
Probably.
admirable. But she is really ready now. She started crying and she said, Jason Cumming meant that, you know what, Saptosa Foster, don't do that. I didn't say she was old. I said that she was more advanced. But my point is, she's really serious. She was like, oh my God hasn't forgotten me. Jason was just like, whoa, I'm just giving you some flowers. Like, I don't think he was as
It
serious.
might be a mismatch. I mean, well, she's desperate to be married. Like 17 years, you done made it to the end of a show. You got people
Her
on
clock
social
is
media.
ticking. He wants to have
Yeah,
children.
yeah. So she's ready. She's on the fast forward button. Hopefully that doesn't scare Jason away or doesn't turn him off.
When
Because
I asked Jason yesterday where were they going with the relationship. He did not say marriage. He just started laughing. He started moving around. He started getting nervous.
what kind? Because that's a bad position for a dude to be in. Whenever you get asked one of those type of questions, so where are y'all gonna happen? How the hell is he supposed to know? So anything that you say is setting an expectation for your girl that's sitting there watching, right? So if he says, "Yeah, we headed towards marriage" on your show, now what's she doing? Every day or every occasion she's looking for a ring, and every time she don't get it, it's resentment, it's disappointment, it's anger. Like so, a man's in a lose-lose situation whenever a woman puts him on the spot like that.
But okay, let me ask you this though. Usually, a lot of times, a man when he meets a woman, I've heard this. I've had this happen to me. They know I want to marry. I know that this is a woman I want to marry early on. So, I mean, that's
Um,
that's not the
I've
same.
heard Yeah, I've heard about situations like that. That's a very risky maneuver. The people that I've seen have the most success. Now, you can know early on whether you vibe with the person enough and you can picture yourself being with them long term.
Right.
But to get to the point where you done already made a decision very early on, to me that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like that makes no sense. Like that's is it a chance that that could work out? Yeah, you know what I mean. Anything's possible. You could hit the lottery, but it don't. That does not sound like a very sound method of dating. Um, the guys that do that, they know that that's what women want to hear. You
Mm.
know, the dude that's on the first date saying, "I'm tired of playing games. I'm ready to buy a ring and start a family." You'd have made it a lot further than the dudes that's keeping it 100 with chicks.
Wow. Okay. Well, I bet if we ask Liz, she wants to get married to Jason.
Right. Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if she had, fantasies or envisions of a proposal on the reunion or something like this whole romance and the show and the whirlwind of being on social media. if it's going to impact anybody, it's going to impact her on a much different level than it's going to impact him,
Yeah,
because he's there. It's not going to trigger a fast forward button in a guy. Like he, and I mean, now they situation with the celibacy, I would imagine a dude that's trying to get in a serious relationship with a woman that's celibate got to be thinking about marriage sooner than a dude that's not. But we'll see. Like that, they got a bunch of factors that's gonna come into play,
yeah,
and we'll see how it plays out.
yeah. I wish them well. My heart hopes that Liz gets the ending that she wants just because she's so happy. I mean, she was just adorable. You know what I mean? And I think that it's going to be difficult for her. And like you said, all this adds to it. The romance and them being on. I mean, they're kissing every other second on social media. She's sharing a lot of that. That could be like a setup for something
Disaster.
if it doesn't. But I like them, and I did kind of change my opinion after seeing the two of them together. I think Jason appreciates the fact that she is wife material. He liked the fact that she carried herself like a lady, even when she was disrespected. She didn't clap back.
She didn't. I don't see no hood coming from her. I like how she how she handled herself on the show. And she is very attractive. So that definitely helps.
Yeah,
Um, she didn't necessarily get into no drama. She wasn't, causing any problems with anybody. That matters too. Like in a situation like that, you can see who's messy, who's petty, who's, all that type of stuff. The intangibles come into play when
yeah,
you interacting with people in a social environment like that. I don't think most people are built for a competitive environment like that.
mm-mm.
Um, I don't know if a healthy relationship can be formed in a environment like that.
Yeah,
Because I think the mindset that you have to thrive, you got to have some hoe tendencies. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a
what?
because you have to be good at marketing yourself fast. Like guys that are great at talking to women and appealing to women and end up being hoes, they specialize at that. And then you got a show setting you up for these one-on-one memorable dates. Like
We said
if
we
I
did.
if I if I was able to consult some of the fellas on the show, uh
Wait, it appears that Joelle had the counseling because he did exactly what he needed to do. Like, he came off. I think that guys that are, used to charming women and know how to talk to them and aren't intimidated definitely are going to do better on a show like this. Now, this brings me to this next couple, KG and Amber. What
I
are
like
your
them.
thoughts? What are your thoughts on KG and Amber? And let me just point out before you start, we learned again, I'm telling y'all, Amber is a bit sneaky. We keep hearing that Amber is talking to other people. KG came in, he zeroed in on Amber, just like he zeroed in on the girl Naya last season. He zeroed in on Amber, and he was like, "This is what I'm doing." I think he was attracted to Chrysanthemum. She shut him down. He zeroed in on Amber. Amber options have been open the entire time, and she is. So what is your prediction for that couple?
I don't know if it's gonna last, because it seems like he's in, like you just kind of laid out. He's into her more than she seems to be into him. She's trying to not do nothing to disrupt it or dismantle it. But I don't know if the feeling is totally mutual. But they got potential. KG, he's a cool dude. He seemed down to earth. Um, he's fit. They both seem to be really attracted to each other physically. So they have the potential to get there. But I don't know if that hone in on a woman, show her it's all about her. Like women say that's good for music and songs. Women don't really like that energy in real life.
That's good when the woman
They
is
get you
serious.
blocked.
No, that if a woman is serious, that is. This queen won't quit said This is hilarious. She says Amber is the female Joelle. She will bounce. I kind of feel her though. I feel like,
But you also, that's another celibacy situation.
yeah, the no sex, and I respect him. I respect anybody that is a grown adult and has decided that they don't want to continue just sharing their body with random people, right? I definitely can relate to that. However, you know, a man to say that he's on a sperm retention, like I was just not feeling that. And I do feel like I feel like she played the game. I feel like she knew KG would keep her on the show to the very end. Do I see them
Who do you think she liked more than KG then?
Several people.
Dang. Several. God damn, why you playing my girl? I followed her on Instagram like she. Tell me, you can't do my girl like that, man. She ain't like several dudes.
I'm just saying. I think that
I don't remember her really connected with nobody else.
That's the point. She's sneaky. We didn't even know. It came out later. It came out. She reached out. Yo, she reached out to Joelle. Remember? They said
there wasn't no romantic tip though. His mother-in-law died.
Y'all chime in for me. You don't think that was any bit
because by that time Joel and Vernicia was like a couple already on the show. So I don't see that as a romantic gesture.
Joelle was open. I feel like that is her. I feel like Joelle pushed doors open and Amber did the same thing.
So you think that everybody, see, I got the vibe that everybody kind of set boundaries for each other. All right, y'all like each other, y'all still in their lane. I didn't think everybody was still on a free for all.
Everybody is on a free for all.
That ain't how it seemed though. It been presented to me like people is in certain subdivisions, you know what I'm saying? And they're
playing the game. They're playing the game. And I get it, y'all. I feel like that was because you know what? If she really thought that Joelle and Vernicia were together, then I definitely would have
invited them both.
But she also could have hit Vernicia and been like, hey, just checking on how
that makes it suspicious. Okay, I can see that.
She ain't hit Vernicia. And then when she went out with Ron, the only reason she didn't keep dealing with Ron is because Ron ended up being messy. Because you see how she bet up with Ron and kissed him and KG had no clue. Again, I'm just pointing out facts that happened throughout the season. And she talked to other people. We found that out, but we did not know that. I mean, KG seemed to be every time something came out, even if y'all watch his face today, when it was mentioned that she reached out to Joelle just to say hello or to give him some, console him. KG was like,
that's how it is going to be in a situation where the guy's head over heels over the woman, and the feeling ain't mutual. I hope. I mean, I don't know if it's mutual yet, but I hope that they can make it work. I think they have the potential. But if she been sneaking around, linking up with the other dudes,
she already did it with Ron, and she explained it. And I do notice that when women explain something, the show backs off. Tommy definitely makes the guys accountable, but nobody really holds the women accountable. I thought that his wife was going to be on the show more, but she wasn't. But Amber, definitely nobody called Amber out. I'm saying Amber was playing a game and she picked the safe guy that would keep her there to the very end. Because she knew KG was going to fight for her. If her name got brought up in elimination, KG was not going to let it happen. She was not in any danger because he was definitely going to keep her there.
I was going to say, because they got started very early. Because like I said, I don't even remember her really liking none of the other dudes for real. I
think she just cool, calm, and collected. And because I never would have thought that she would have gone out with Ron.
I mean, well, Ryan started off on the good foot. He looked the part. He didn't have nothing negative going against him. Um, so the first couple episodes, I thought he start. He seemed like he had his representative in the building.
Right.
He appeared to be a solid dude till you get around him and start seeing him in different settings. That's when the
Okay,
true
so
colors come out.
what did you think about the situation with David and Liz? Everybody was going. I mean, David just. I'm surprised that he handled himself as well as he did tonight, because that whole meltdown that he had with Liz when she was eliminating him was just so
Yeah.
crazy as hell. Or let me not say that. Let me take that back. It was a red flag. It appeared to be a red flag the way it was edited. I don't want him thinking that I said he's crazy. But the show, the way it was edited, it looked like he was really not able to handle what he had been okay dishing out. What were your thoughts on David tonight?
I thought his explanation on it, where he was saying with the password conversation, where he was talking about my expectations were for marriage, your
Right.
expectation or your conversation was talking about just dating in general. Um, I have to do that a lot of times on my page, provide real defined context on what I actually said, what what I'm saying, like what the narrative actually is. So I
Mm-hmm.
think he did a good job of redeeming himself on
And that
TV.
on that
Yeah,
note.
on this one, finally, but you didn't have an episode where you've been labeled as a crazy dude, and the scene is gonna live in infamy. But I don't know if he was just trying to control the narrative,
Mhm.
going too hard. You know what I mean? Like that's what it seemed like. Like, no, I'm gonna quit before I get fired on TV type of vibe. So I guess you only got one opportunity to handle it. And I think he handled it bad, but he did redeem himself and take accountability for it.
I thought he handled that part well, and because I didn't really have a
He,
problem with him.
he did a little much when he kissed Liz, though.
He did. He did. It was awkward, and it was hard to watch because she was just like,
Yeah, that's doing
yeah,
too much.
he was just he. Oh,
Cause he got up, I'm like, oh, bro, you could have just kept it right where it was at. So yeah, that was a little awkward moment, but nothing was more awkward. Every time they showed Troy, it was awkward. You know what I'm saying?
and you know what, Troy immediately like takes responsibility because he don't want no smoke, right? So he's like,
Right.
hey, hey, it is what it is. On the show, he was absolutely out of control. When I interviewed him, he definitely, came across. He's awkward. I think he's the oldest guy on the show. He probably felt insecure up against the other guys that were younger and in shape, and it was a lot of good looking guys on the show. So I feel like he really like was uncomfortable and trying to overcompensate. Anytime you start offering to take people on trips,
Lame behavior. Like men that have to start offering stuff and coming with a coupon to get a date. Like, stop, bro. Stop it.
did you
You
hear
know,
what Tracy said? Because when Tommy was like, "Y'all want to go on a trip," and she said, "You're gonna have to kiss him first." I was like, "She's quick." I like Stacey. Stacey,
yeah, Stacy. Actually, I actually know Stacy personally.
okay,
Um, one of my podcast partners is her friend. So she came to my house and we did a discussion at my house last year.
okay,
So she is funny. She's an a-hole in real life.
yeah,
Uh,
she was quick
so
with
she.
she's quick with it. But I also did notice that when Vernicia was talking about the fact that Stacey
Oh, her name came up in the mess.
and she just looked like, and then there's pictures online of him and Stacey and Chrysanthemum and Joelle. So I was like, okay, but it's a competition. That's what you're supposed to do. So they didn't over.
Well, from the way she responded on the show, it's like I wasn't messing with him. Like it wasn't no romantic tip, but I don't know. I couldn't.
I would say this: if Joelle was interested in one of them, it would make sense to go out with both of them since they're friends. Because it is like we just all hanging out. We all
You're
know
right.
that kind of game. Like that's elementary. Okay, because Chrysanthemum was beautiful and is out to play. She's not serious about a relationship, and that probably seems attractive to a lot of guys. I don't know. I'm just saying if
You don't think they was trying? They was really looking for nothing? I just think they approached it wrong. Like they approached it like they was on a college campus instead of a dating show. You know what I mean? Like the two homegirl vibe don't work when it's just one dude. You know what I mean? Like and so it ain't like you bring your roommate or bring your best friend type of vibe. And so that's kind of how they were approaching it. I think that's why it backfired on both of them.
yeah, I mean probably I guess I mean because they definitely weren't everybody's top in the beginning. They were like
No, no.
the dude's top in the beginning, and then they
Because
just
they started there like from the beginning though. Like on the first episode, it was like, so what do y'all like? Nobody want to have well. A lot of guys can't handle a conversation with multiple women, especially if they think both of the women are cute. You know, like that's a lot of pressure. And you saw the dudes was folding. You know, the nerdy dudes was all shook and wasn't really talking. And you know, when it comes to dating in a scenario like that, swag matter. You know, the dudes that's comfortable enough to get a group of chicks laughing and remembering his name, they fare the best.
that's true. That is true. Speaking of, and I think that's unfair, but that is true. So the guys that aren't, that confident or don't have that go to, smoothness, don't have that. But I actually really hope that Christian and Andrea work out. I think they are so cute. I really like her. I think she's beautiful and very intellectual. She's not running game, which I could respect. And I think Christian, Tressa, we had Tressa on the show. She was like, Christian is really small, and she thought that was why a lot of women weren't into him or whatever. But I thought he was a really nice guy. Him and Khalil. Khalil came off a little crazy. A little crazy in the reunion. He came off a little odd with his, I mean, I don't, yeah, he came off weird. But even he and Ida, I hope that works out.
Yeah. They seem like they about the same speed, and she's small too. So I
Yeah,
don't. Hopefully, it won't be that big of an issue.
yeah.
I commend him for having the heart to shoot a shot like that. You know, I was like,
He
oh, okay.
Tommy damn near had to force him to do it. He wasn't gonna do it at the reunion. He just got, but
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she might have just said yes because she was on TV. But we'll never know. Because how would that have went? Like, she's like, no, I'm good. You know?
but she said they had been talking, or he said they had been talking. I can't remember which one of them said that they had been talking. But all right, so but hopefully it seems like the couples that have been able to make it on Ready to Love don't seem like the couples that were the star couples of the show. Mario and Reva are still together. I think there's another couple from season 1 that wasn't even on the show that are still together, and that's about it. Jason and Liz said that they're going to do a big event in Houston with Battle of the Couples. I hope it works out. I hope it works out for them. I saw them in a picture with Mario and Reva, so I mean they're really trying to push that Ready to Love. I think Tommy said that there was a couple that he felt like was going to get to the altar. I don't know who he meant when he said that
Let's
because
keep our fingers crossed.
yeah, hopefully somebody will make it, but maybe it'll be one of the couples that wasn't the star couple because there's not as much pressure and it's not as much need to be doing your social media dance if you're doing that. So I wish them the best. The show is going to DC. That's going to be interesting.
Ooh.
That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Now, Terry, you were actually at the end of the month. We're actually going to do a big panel. We're going to start advertising next week, so you guys have to tune in. With what is it? The forensics of cheating.
Forensics of cheating. Yeah.
Give us a little snapshot, so you guys have to tune in. We'll start promoting this. Like I said, next week we're getting it's just going to be a male panel. It's just going to be me, hosting and letting the men talk, because I've learned that women don't always let men talk. So we'll have the men on, Terry and the author of the book, and then two more gentlemen. I think we actually have a couple of the guys from Ready to Love are going to be a part of it as well.
Okay.
Tell us
Make it
about
happen. Make it happen.
tell us about the premise of the forensics of cheating.
The book is just a deep dive into the mindset of a cheater. It was a book that I co-wrote with Dr. Andre Blaylock. He has a history of being on relationship panels, Dr. Phil, etc. So he's great at explaining stuff in doctor lingo, right?
Okay.
And so we both just wanted to give our perspective. He likes my approach, my candid, raw social media lane, and he wanted to give it some credibility with his credentials and his perspective. So we cheating is always the hottest topic, and it's so emotional that it can be hard to have a thorough discussion or have a discussion that hits on very deep levels. So we were able to talk about the things that the mindset and the decision making of a cheater and the decision making and thought process of somebody that decides to stay faithful. So I think it's just a real interesting read, especially for somebody that's probably never cheated or only been cheated on. It gives
Yeah.
you some insight that you may have never had.
Is there a difference between a cheater and a person that cheats?
I would say a cheater is just somebody that is habitually cheating and cheats on every relationship, really with no real valid reason. They just really ain't monogamous and are lying about being in a relationship. But I think most people that end up cheating, that's a result of what they experience in a relationship. Most people that are not happy or not having their needs met, that opens the door for somebody else to meet those needs. And then once that starts happening, a connection happens where they can start having more deeper conversation. You could say sexual jokes, and then ultimately that conversation where, man, I've been liking you, I've been feeling this type of way, can happen where they feel safe enough to discuss it. And that's usually what it takes.
Well, Ray says, Terry, we salute you and how you bring it to the homies, giving a real man's point of view. Let people know where they can follow you. And like I said, we're going to do that. The forensics of cheating, and hopefully we'll have women.
It's available on Amazon.
Available on Amazon, and we're going to talk about the book. You got to send me a copy of it because I want to be ready to go once we get into this. But let people know where they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me on Instagram at Terry Deron. You can get my material at terryderon.com. But if you do follow me on social media, the link in my bio, it has access to my podcast, to my YouTube channel, and all my other content.
That's what's up. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Now stay tuned this week. Monday, we have more Ready to Love. We have some more of the cast coming through. We have Vernicia. We're gonna have all that going on next week. So y'all stay tuned for more. And Terry will be back at the end of the month with. I see that you guys are talking about some of the Ready to Love All-Stars. We have one of the guys from the first season of Ready to Love, and then we're going to have, I think, one from this season of Ready to Love. We're going to be on to chime in about the forensics of cheating and what is going on in the mind of a man. We'll get all off into that. Terry, thank you for hanging out with me. I was like, Terry has got to sit in with me tonight because we have been talking about this show the entire season. I told you to watch it so we can have these conversations because I really want a male conversation, and I don't want a man that's going to tell the women what they want to hear. I like hearing it from a man that you got nothing to lose. Your marriage, you ain't trying to holler at nobody. So you got to tell us the truth because you have no dogs in the fight. So I appreciate that.
Not a problem. I always enjoy our conversations.
All right. Well, I will see you at the end of the month. I will see you guys right back here for Reality Check Monday. We have a Ready to Love castmate, and then we have Melody Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville. And the crazy thing is, Kyra is being connected to one of the guys from Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm going to get some more tea on that, some more intel on that. I'll come back and we'll talk about it on Monday. I'll see you guys Monday right here at 8 p.m. Terry, I'll hit you over the weekend and let you know what it is.
All right. You have a good one.
All right. Good night, everybody.